Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. Today I'd like to talk about iconic pieces, and one of the most iconic, beautiful pieces of all time is the original Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. And the original Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon, and it's a little bit different to the current one, and basically it's referred to as the Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow. The Omega reference is CK2915, and on the screen here you can see one. This is a 1958 piece, and the asking price was around about it's a big asking price, very big asking price, £50,000. And that's partly because these are so damn scarce. It's a bit smaller. It's actually 39mm, and the Omega Speedmaster was released in 1957, and it was a creation by a guy called Pierre Monat. He was the head of Omega's creative department. The case was designed by Claude Bollinod, and the prototype was made by George Hartman. And it was a piece which was originally for people who wanted this was quite an advanced piece, a chronograph, which is a stopwatch and a watch. The original, so we're talking the original Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow, reference CK2519, was about 39 mils, water resistant case with an engraved steel bezel, and it's quite the biggest thing you can tell is the broad arrow shaped hands. It used the caliber 321 movement, and it was protected by a anti-magnetic soft iron cap. And it's certainly the 321 movement is considered probably the greatest movement in the Omega Speedmaster. Later on, that movement became a 861 and then a 1861. The 321 movement is a Lemania based movement. And in 1959, the broad arrow hands were replaced with the alpha hands, and the engraved steel bezel was replaced with a black. The steel bezel was replaced with black insert graduated to 500 kilometers an hour. It was referred to CK2998, and these early ones are very collectible and very valuable, and to get one all together, often the dials have been chased, they've been mucked around with. It's very difficult. And this piece here, you can see here, the dial is really spectacular. The bezel is outstanding, and it's in really good nick. The width is 38.5mm, and it takes a 19mm strap. And in the photos here, you can see its original. It's got the original expanding bracelet fitted here, which is quite rare. And this is a very rare, original, early Omega Speedmaster. And as I said, the price on it was £50,000, which it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. These early Speedmasters are extremely desirable. They are a piece for the connoisseur. And Omega has reissued a broad arrow Speedmaster, but that's obviously, that's a modern piece. It's nowhere near as desirable as this piece, and it's very much a piece for the connoisseur who really appreciates vintage Omegas. And I mean, to many people, these are like an E-Type Series 1 Jaguar. They're a very rare, very rare, hard to come by piece, and there aren't a lot of them around there. And there is also another version of it, which is the Amiga Speedmaster Broad Arrow Big Ball, which had a second hand that had a big circular ball on it, hence the name. And the other piece which is very interesting is that the Speedmaster, the Speedmaster also was released, this is late 50s, and there was an Amiga Ranchero which had those type of hands as well, and they're nowhere near as collectible as the Speedmaster is. And it's a very specialized market. These type of vintage pieces here, you've got to tread very carefully. There's a lot of you know, messed around with pieces, and you've got to really know what you're doing. If you're putting that sort of money into a piece, you've got to be pretty careful. And I mean, look, that's a lot of money, but the investment potential of the first Speedmaster is just outstanding. It is an outstanding piece, and they certainly will continue rising in price, and you can't make any more vintage pieces like this. This is a very rare piece, and obviously over time dials have been changed, bezels have been changed as they got damaged, all sorts of alterations, and the one that's worth the most money is the one that has as much original content as possible. And as I was saying, after CK2915, about 1959 came out CK2998, and it used slightly different type of hands there. And the interesting thing is there that model, it stayed around for a while, and it's a very interesting way that this watch has developed, because one of the beautiful things about the Speedmaster is that it has remained so true to form. And these early ones, it's just the slightest difference which makes them so desirable and so valuable. I hope you've enjoyed this historical introspect of a very iconic wrist. Amiga Speedmasters are such a beautiful piece. As Archie Luxury has said, the Amiga Speedmaster is your first decent wristwatch, and it's the cheapest way to get membership into the watch collecting fraternity. And with Amiga Speedmasters themselves there, I don't think it really matters if you these highly valuable early pieces are really not attainable, but it's wonderful to have a look at them and see what they were. The interesting thing is, a good Amiga Speedmaster 321 base movement watch is available for under the $5,000 mark. That would have to be an outstanding investment compared to what vintage Rolex Daytonas go for. And don't ever forget, the Amiga Speedmaster was one of the greatest all-time chronographs of the era. And the Rolex really wasn't so much better or greater. In fact, many people would say the Amiga from this period was better. I'm Archie Luxury. I hope you've enjoyed this iconic look at the Amiga Speedmaster.